Welcome, everyone, to San Antonio by Night. Today, we're doing something a little bit special. We are concluding the first season of San Antonio by Night tonight with some epilogues. Little snippets told from the perspective of each individual character as to their plans beyond the information that was provided to them by both Bureau Duval and by the vision that M received. The first person that we're going to really look into as far as that goes is the lovely Amber, the newest member of the coterie for all intents and purposes. And see what her plans are going forward, having declared herself willing to go up against this monolith, the Ivory Tower. Amber, what are your thoughts in these couple of nights past what Bureau Duval and M have both shared with you?
There's a variety of different fear, and rightfully so. I mean, Death is riding into town and he's bringing friends. I might not be the oldest on the block, but even I know that for those of us who are not part of that ivory tower, that if you're not with it, you're against it. And when things go against the ivory tower does whatever it can to crush said thing. I suppose it's in the same breath a little bit of freedom. How do I put this? I've been scared for so long of things that are, relatively speaking, inconsequential. Utterly inconsequential. But now there are things I fear more than that. If I slip up, one will come for me, and the other's coming whether I like it or not. And I think the last thing I feel is relief. I suppose I've spoken so much over the past couple of nights about wanting freedom, but my dedication to this cause, to the opposition of the Ivory Tower, is it's taking the small things that are afforded to me. It's not the freedom that I so desperately desired, but as Mr. Doyle was able to teach me, I'm never going to be afforded that freedom. I'll always be a slave to something. The beast. Someone else. But at the very least, right now, I'm getting to choose the hill that I die on. Metaphorically speaking. And I think in that, I find a sense of solace and relief. That if I'm to face the firing squad, as it were, that I'm choosing to do it. And I'm choosing the people I do it with. I won't die for cause that I don't believe in.
And thus you have chosen the host as the people you would stand beside. Where do we find you tonight?
I suppose there's a couple of people that I need to go see. Things I need to clear up. Allegiances to be made. People to tell off.
Hmm.
And I think the first one I should start with is the man who made me.
Ashley Sanderson. You find yourself tonight in a bit of a gathering. A gathering of your sire, fellow Toreador from the city, other such dignitaries in this Alamo city, socializing, rubbing shoulders, passing rumors. Perhaps the place where you thrive the most is a social setting. Wandering about, there are some people that you know, some people that you don't. Not least important of which is your sire. He's there, standing across the room from you, talking with someone. You're not sure who. You see a couple of people that you may not have met as of yet, but seem important enough. One of which is standing by Baron Delgado's side. He's decided to grace this particular gathering with his presence.
Oh, wonderful. Means I don't have to go looking for him later.
Where do you go first?
Methinks that I might wish to have a
Nope.
little talk with the Baron.
You move closer to Baron Delgado. He is standing with another man who you haven't met as of yet. He is just enjoying some conversation, kind of passing small talk back and forth for now. And when you approach, he does spot you. Miss Dupree.
Baron, and she bows respectfully.
How are you this evening?
I am. How am I this evening? It's a good question. I suppose if I were to sum it up, I am with purpose this night.
Purpose? Well, you're certainly amongst friends. Allow me to introduce you to Damien McCarthy. And Damien looks to you, gives a bit of a nod, and says to you, Miss Dupree.
Mr.
And
McCarthy.
puts his hand out to shake yours.
And I will shake his hand.
It's a firm grip. Very solid.
Firm grip, just one of the many things I like in a man.
He just kind of nods at you and then looks back to the Baron.
I thought that there is something that you should know. Just so it doesn't surprise you when they next come to visit.
Delgado kind of cocks a brow at you. What exactly do you mean?
I have made some new acquaintances. Ones that you know quite well. Mr. Doyle?
Ah, yes. Mr. Doyle is a delightful man.
That he is. I have had the chance to learn that over the past couple of nights.
I did not realize that you had associations with Mr. Doyle. I must be a little bit behind on my information in that regard. I haven't spoken to him in a couple of weeks.
It's been a busy time. And I'm sure that he will come and check in with you soon.
As you should.
I will make sure to put a little reminder in his pocket to do so. You know how he can be lost in his books.
That does not surprise me in the slightest.
But no, it is something that I thought I would inform you of, just so that when that visit does happen, you are not surprised to see me walk into the room.
He simply allows you to speak.
It's been an interesting couple of nights watching what's been going on.
Do we need to speak in private, Miss Dupree?
That may be an idea.
You simply only need to request it. Damien kind of just nods, understanding what it is that's going on in this particular situation, and begins to walk away.
He's like, then we should speak in private.
And so Delgado ushers a hand forward and leads you towards a section of the room that's a little bit more secluded. Not necessarily private by any means, but definitely a little bit more secluded from the rest of the party.
And once they're alone, Amber kind of looks to the left, looks to the right, and she goes, if you were not aware of my association with Mr. Doyle, then that would say to me that something else needs to be said, something of a much graver importance.
Graver importance.
I cannot tell you where I got this information. But Death is riding into town soon, and he's bringing friends.
Death.
Tall and towering and ivory.
That's certainly such a claim. This is not gossip mongering, is it?
No, I would not deign to put in such things with you, Baron. That would be rude.
Why can you not speak of where you got this information?
It is something that I was sworn to confidence on.
Aha. Sworn to confidence on the
Where?
provider, but not the information itself.
Yes.
Aha.
Because whilst the people, beings, whatever you wish to say, does not wish to be identified, the last thing they wish is for you to be on the back foot if they come knocking at our doors, so to speak.
That's concerning. Huh. Well, I'll certainly have to look into this information myself. If I...
Of course.
Was there anything else that I could help you with, Miss Dupree?
No, I have shared all that I need to share, Baron Dorgado.
Then I must return to the rest of the gathering, make my rounds, as one should. You have a pleasant evening.
And you as well.
And for all intents and purposes, Baron Delgado makes his way through the rest of the room, saying this and that to everyone else, and eventually leaving. What do you do next?
Whilst he's making his way around the room, Amber would probably do the same to different people. Just, pleasantries and small talk and things of the like.
You notice that Ashley occasionally has been eyeing you as you've been walking through the entire gathering. Off and on. Not staring, but off and on.
Noticed. And eventually, after the Baron leaves, I will make my way over to him.
He smiles very broadly. He's by himself at this moment. His speaking partner having dismissed themselves from the conversation. And reaches out for a warm hug.
I'll return it, keeping the face of civility, but internally I am cringing exceptionally hard at this. It's disgusting.
Do you think you can make me a composure subterfuge?
I can make you a composure subterfuge, yes. Would feign innocence apply here as a specialty?
You're feigning interest. You're not feigning innocence.
That's fair. Alright, I will roll that composure subterfuge for you then. Boop. No modifiers, and let's see if that's another.
He doesn't seem any wiser to it. My darling. How are you this evening?
Oh, I am wonderful. Thank you for asking.
You look lovely tonight.
Why, thank you. As something that I attempt to do for every night.
Not Not that it's hard.
It's not my fault, for I was naturally blessed with these talents.
You are quite good. How have you been faring on your own?
It's been it's been going well. I've found a little bit of a place to call my own.
I see.
Met some very interesting people.
Do tell.
Well, there is a man that I have met who has caught my interest.
Caught your interest.
He's a very, very interesting individual, and I can't wait to see what he does next.
It is hard to find interesting people sometimes. And harder still for them to maintain interest sometimes.
Well, I mean, it's early days. Whether he can walk the walk as well as talk the talk remains to be seen. But he's willing to step up to the plate, and for now, that's what's got my interest.
Who is this delightful man who's caught your eye?
He goes by the name Big B.
Big B. That's an interesting name. Why is he so interesting to you? I'm curious.
Just the way that he thinks about things, the way that he does things.
Huh.
His way of being is utterly intriguing.
I don't know that I've heard this name before. Does he go by anything else?
Not that I can recall.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Maybe this is a name that I'll hear more prevalently in the future. If he's not anyone of great importance as of right now.
I mean, possibly. He's what you would call an up-and-comer.
An up-and-comer. As is every child, I'm sure. You certainly have started to make a name for yourself. At least in my circles.
Oh?
I still talk about you.
And people have been talking about me. Others.
Well, it's mostly me doing the talking. I can't... You know I care about you, Ember.
I know.
You're my little songbird, remember?
Oh, I remember.
So, tell me more about Big B. What's he like? What's his most interesting feature?
His most interesting features. I think his eyes. They're captivating.
He's captivated you.
No, I said that his eyes were captivating, not that he has captivated me.
Haha. Distinction.
And, whilst this might sound a little bit vulgar, he has other assets that are quite useful.
Hmm. Well, don't tease me.
Oh, I wouldn't tease you too much. But a little rousing to get interest is key, no?
Of course. Do you want to go out into the garden and have a walk? Maybe you could tell
Uh, then,
more.
I,
Tell me more
then,
about
I,
Bigby and the others that you may have met since leaving my little abode.
the night air is wonderful tonight, so I think that sounds like a wonderful idea.
Perfect. And so he leads you out into the garden behind this particular home, kind of nestled in a little bit more of a well-to-do section of town. The garden is well kept. It is surprisingly green for as dry as Texas summers tend to be, even to the most manicured of gardens.
Hmm, interesting. I'll keep that one in mind. So what is it that you want to know about Big B?
Well, should I meet him? Should he be someone that I take an interest in myself, or should this be someone who I don't really invest in?
I would say that he's not real. Whilst he is got my interest, that he's not really someone worth a massive amount of your time.
Hmm.
He,
Shame.
in the way that he does things, in the way that he walks and he talks, it's much more of a spectacle to watch.
Hmm. I do like spectacle. On occasion, anyway.
As do we all know.
As do we all. But you haven't really come by since venturing out on your own, and I grew concerned. This big bee is not going to hurt you, is he?
No, 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 he's not going to hurt me.
Good.
Trust me, I would have done unspeakable things to him long before he would have had the chance.
Hmm. Well, are there others? Do you know many more people? Do you need me to introduce you to more?
Oh, no, no, no. I have met. I've had acquaintance with a certain bar owner who is a very interesting lady.
Hmm.
It's only a basic acquaintance, but even the cursory meeting that we had was very interesting.
That's good.
There's another girl that I've met as well. She's a very curious individual, a very interesting
Hmm.
individual. She is hard to pin down, and I think that's the thing that I like about her.
Hmm.
She's different. She's different, and I find that very curious.
I notice you hardly mention any names.
I don't particularly feel the need
Hmm.
to mention names.
I'm afraid I might know some people.
No, I would just figure that if you know them, that you'd be able to connect the dots. You're a smart man, after all.
Hmm. That, or you're just being a tease.
No, I wouldn't dare dream of that.
Hmm. That is a lie, and I know that.
She, Amber can't help but grin. It's like, no, if I had something exceptionally important to share with you, I would.
Hmm.
You know that.
Fair enough.
There is one other person who I have made acquaintance with.
Hmm.
And he is a very interesting fellow indeed. This one I will give you a name.
Oh.
One Urien Doyle.
Urien Doyle. He's actually gonna roll a politics check. Let's see if he's familiar with that. I've maybe heard that name in passing. Should I know who that is?
He's a he's a driven fellow.
Hmm.
He is a man who knows how to get what it is that he wants. And he knows the ways in which to get it.
Hmm. Oh, I can't say that it rings any bells.
All I would say is if you do hear more about him, that he's someone to watch.
Really?
Yes, there's a lot of very interesting things that I have heard and that I shall not repeat for the sake of propriety and confidence. Nothing bad. If it was, I would tell you. But he is a man who always has a plan.
As one should.
But even in the times where you would imagine that one doesn't have a plan, he still has one.
If there's anything that you should remember, Amber, is that you should always have a contingency for everything. You never know what rumors might become truth.
That is very true. Words are power, and if you can make people believe them, well, even more so. I haven't forgotten that little adage.
this Mr. Doyle's caught your interest.
I mean, he has caught my interest, yes, but there is a lot that has at the moment. Like someone stepping out into the bright lights, the big city for the first time.
Hmm.
New York and its LCD screens in Times Square. Tokyo and the heat and glow of neon lights.
I rather like San Antonio. I like that it's less LCDs and bright lights and more down to the earth, familial, very grounded. The city doesn't get very tall. It's ever expanding, but never gets very tall. That's what I like about it. I don't have to look up very high to see the stars on a clear night.
Well, I mean, both have their appeals. Some like to see over the tops of the buildings. Some find comfort in living in the concrete jungle.
That is not my life. Even the spectacle of downtown gets a little bit much for me at times, but no, I rather like the countryside more. I find it more interesting than city lights.
I feel as if they're different kinds. They're two sides of the same coin. The nice, soft, gentle caress of nature in the country. The cold, unforgiving, yet absolutely blinding and scorching heat of city lights.
Some may say the same thing about Texas and the weather.
I mean, the weather is what it is. If you're not burning, you're frozen. And that one is what it is. So, how do I put it? It's a dichotomy that needs to be fed from both sides to be kept placated. Even though that our hearts have stopped beating and we walk around cadavers.
You make it sound so morbid.
It is what it is, morbid or not. But the one thing that I see that we cannot abide is stagnancy.
You haven't lived long enough to really understand how enjoyable some stagnance is.
Oh, of course.
Given our clan, stagnancy does tend to be a little boring, but nothing wrong with a little boring from time to time. Makes the interesting things much more valuable when they do happen.
Oh, quite. But as they say, the more things change, the more they stay the same, and the more they stay the same, they stay the same.
Are you getting bored already?
No, I have far too much on my mind, things that I want to explore, do, things I want to see, things that I want to see people do. people I want to do.
You know you can always come home when you get bored.
Oh, I know. I know. I haven't forgotten. I make sure to keep it in mind every time I lie down for day sleep.
Hmm. Well, I do have others to mingle with.
Please don't let me take up too much of your time.
You can take up as much time as you want, my darling.
Hmm.
But
Well,
there
the
are
funny
other
thing
things
is,
I need to talk about with other people, but I'm always fascinated by you.
well, I'm glad to hear that I haven't lost my allure.
Not at all.
I think I may stay out here and enjoy the night air for a little longer.
Alright. Then have a pleasant evening, my little songbird.
And you too. And you too. And she'll give him a smile.
And he'll give you a smile back, and then turn to go back inside. What's going through
Oh,
your mind right now?
keep an ear out until he's properly inside.
He walks in, he shuts the door, goes about mingling with other people in the room.
Yeah, as soon as I hear the door shut, so I know he's doing other things. There's this gagging, not loud like loud noises, but there's this little bit of a gag that Amber feels come up in her throat. It's like, oh, left her just having to bullshit through that interaction has made her feel disgusted. It's never obvious. It's never the obvious. It's always the little the lessening to an object, the objectification of it, the the way that he deigns to think that he has control, the way that he pushes buttons.
Why
It's
don't you
a
give
good
us a
thing
little
that
bit
he
of
can.
insight as to why it is that you feel that he pushes your buttons a little?
Life was never easy. Death even more so. I've had these looks of mine for as long as I can remember. And because I've had them, people have wanted to use them. Regardless of my input.
Mm.
And if someone, or rather I just so happen to say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, if I wasn't anything less the perfect thing that she had envisioned, or if I refused to do what I was asked, things would get horrible. Things would get... To call it paramount to emotional and psychological abuse would be apt. And it was this cycle of you must be perfect or else that led me to this, to my current condition. Just as a little note, being put through a skylight hurts. You know, for about the 5-10 seconds you can feel it before you hit the ground with a deafening, disgusting crack. But I thought that this would be different. That that maybe by dying, I may have had a chance to have a new life, a better life. A life that wasn't so under the thumb of others.
You must always be perfect.
I must always be perfect, and if I'm not, then to them I am nothing, and it disgusts me. I thought that this would be some kind of freedom for all of the slavery that it would bring, being bound to the beast, to having to feed on other people, only being able to subsist off the life force of others. But it's second verse, same as the fucking first, isn't it? That's all it is. It's all it's ever been. Second verse, same as the fucking first. Well, I'm sick of this song. The next time I sing, it's going to be for me. For me and for the causes that I so choose. No more of this slack-jawed, wishy-washy, button-pushing bullshit. I'm done with that. I left it behind when I died. I tore it apart when I fed on him. It's not coming back. I refuse. And I don't care what I have to do or who I have to bury to make that become a reality.
And I think that is where we're going to take a little break. We'll be back shortly with part 2 of the epilogues for tonight, featuring Urien Doyle. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, to San Antonio by Night, the Season 1 Epilogue vignettes. The next little segment that we will be delving into involves our coterie leader, Urien Doyle. The night at the coterie house is a little bit sparse. There's not really anyone else present. Everyone's off doing their own little things tonight. And Urien, you are left alone in the house, unless you want someone else specifically to be there.
No. No, on occasion I do need my silence. It gives me time to remember. To drift into memorium. I am currently sitting in that chair I have placed overlooking the entirety of the kitchen living room. I sit there with my books. I have one open as though I was reading it. Truth is my mind is a million miles away. Or not so far as that. A little bit closer still in country. There was something that was mentioned. Something that concerns me greatly. The concept that there are others in Jackson that survived.
Some disturbing information indeed. What would that imply? What could that mean? Who survived? Were they important enough when you saw them last? Were they just a face? Were they anybody memorable?
I can only hope. I think back to... Well... No, it's not thinking. This is a different trick. I'm seeking in my own blood, like an imprint of a moment in time. Go back further, past the ashes, the smoke and the fire, past the bloodshed, the debauchery and vengeance, before I seen the walls fall. I remember we were outside the door. They had barricaded it in. There were a pair of thin bloods who got their hands on welding torches. Most of us were afraid, you see. The beast does not care for fire. Yet these thin bloods handled it as though it were no thing at all useful. I can still see him cutting. I can still see him cutting through the door. You see, they locked it up tight. It's tough. Old St. Anne's building. That's where Marius Calhoun ended up here holding his court. That was his little bunker. Oh yeah, all those security guards, you gotta admit, he ended up putting in quite a bit of work into making sure that this whole operation would stay standing. Me, myself, I've only been maybe 7 years into my embrace at that point. But kind of funny. You know? See Mark over there, he looks like he's pissing himself. Well, I think it was mostly just the smell of burning metal. Not something I think a lot of older kindred like him. Not too long ago, rumor is, at least, I never saw her personally, that Tyler stepped into town. Now, amongst Anarchs, you gotta admit, Tyler is a big swinging dick. That is one of those names that you do not drop lightly. It's the kind that makes the Camarilla just end up getting all inside themselves. Now, that was something else. That was something else. We took it. Yeah. Whole thing started when somebody ended up hucking a Molotov at the chowder of Primogen. Can't remember the name. Never spent much time with Cam, truthfully. You see, people like us, we were stuck trying to end up making sure everything ended up coming up just dandy. Truth of the matter is that kind of spiraled from there. The declaration that those who were responsible will be blood hunting. And then the hounds showed up, and, well, I remember one of them being crucified, left to burn in the sun right on their front lawn. Made it very clear that Calhoun wasn't in control no more. Fact of the matter is that as we're cutting through this, I'm feeling mighty nervous. I really am.
You feel a hand on your shoulder as you're getting a little bit overcome with nerves. It's all right. It's all right. We've got everything under control.
Thanks, Colin. Look at this familiar face. Pretty boy.
Leader of the Anarch movement in Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah. Big gun Thresh. Yeah. I myself have only ended up meeting him so long, but he's always taken a liking to us youngers. It was difficult to end up making things matter. Yeah, I ended up putting on the boogeyman outfit just to end up making things, maybe psych myself up, but Colin's a different thing altogether. I can't help but my eyes keep falling towards that propane torch, cutting sparks, wondering what's on the other side. I haven't heard wind if the sheriff was caught or not. I ended up hearing that they got a hold of his harpy bitch, so that was a start. And a lot of us are thinking we can't wait to get our hands on Prince Marius Calhoun of Jackson, like the son of a bitch runs this city. Fact of the matter is, I'm pretty sure half of us are pissing ourselves, but
The tyrant
can't let
prince with
that.
an iron grip.
Yeah. I look to Colin just to end up keeping my eyes off the flame, at the very least. Maybe that'll settle my nerves. Big Gun Thresh, he's, well, the man. That's what you need to know about him. I'll kind of speak up a bit. It ends tonight, right?
That's the plan.
Once this is all done.
We got everything in place. This place is going down.
Cornered like a goddamn rat.
Cornered like a goddamn rat in his own goddamn Elysium.
Fucking prick. Hang on to 9mm pistol. And I think they call it a Glock. I don't know a damn thing about guns, but I mean, I'm not exactly useful in this situation. But I gotta do what I gotta do. Yeah. They end up saying that the Tremere spellcasters were some kind of mages or something, but me, I never really believed in it. Not at the time, anyway. But I got good eyes. I could see that son of a bitch loves to end up using Nosferatu. Something about his sheriff being one. Apparently, the whole line is loyal to the Camarilla in the end. They need a spotter. That's why I'm here. I'm not sure what this gun's gonna do. I might as well be using spit wads.
Eventually, the doors are cut through, and the thin bloods look towards Colin, signaling him silently that things are ready to go. As soon as he says the word,
Check the chamber, make sure bullets loaded in the round. Hollow point takes a large chunk out of kind. Don't know what the fuck it's gonna end up doing to Kindred, but that's what they gave me. I guess it's good enough. I trust him.
Colin's also doing the same, checking his guns, making sure he's got everything loaded. A couple of grenades on his belt.
Yeah, some bitch came heavy. I don't know where he ended up getting the guns. Says he got them loaded them in as a favor. I don't know what else that might imply. But I get on the ready. I'm checking the halls, maybe peeking out through the mirrors, trying to end up looking. Maybe this is an ambush. Who knows? I mean, Calhoun's entire court, and they got that weird thing, makes them hard to see. Probably what kept him in power so long. Everybody's afraid because no one's sure on what they're seeing. Well, I can see. I can see just fine.
Urien, the eyes, Doyle.
Well, not much of a fighter myself, so better make the most of it.
Colin nods. Everyone gets into position. And the doors storm open, and a grenade is tossed inside the room. It goes off loudly and brightly. The explosion, loud, cacophonous.
Yeah. It rattles me. It rattles me something fierce, I might admit. I was a little petrified at that point. Never been around a grenade going off before. But then again, I've done a lot of things tonight that I did not do before. Fall in. It's kind of like what Thresh ended up saying. Going in one quick, follow the wall, try and end up staying out of the line of fire of everybody else. And I'm the eyes, so I gotta be one of the first ones in. I think I might have just started shooting into the room, not really looking at what I'm shooting at, just hoping it's gonna keep somebody's head down and stop shooting at me. I don't know. I'm scared.
You, several others, a strike team of 10 or more, you're not entirely sure, all storm into the room after the grenade and start opening fire, shooting at anything that moves, anything you see. With your eyes, you're wanting to see if you can spot the sheriff. You're the only one who can see him.
I look around. It's always hard, you see. I know I'm seeing other things. I know that. I'm trying to ignore it. can't do much for ghosts. Can't do much for specters and wards. I can see a lot of things, but I'm looking for sheriff. I'm looking for all those loyal Calhoun, the ones that can hide themselves. It's a useful bet. We might be spraying and praying right now, but by the time I get to the corner to keep out of line, I'm finally starting to look down barrel. I try and end up reloading the gun like I was taught. I'm fumbling a bit. My hands are shaking. I'm looking as I end up seeing every anarch in the city pouring out. Some of them are in the court, some of them are here, but the 10 of us, we're the ones tip of the spear. Spear that managed to make it to the heart of this Camarilla. Fuck.
A couple of people go down. You do see that the sheriff has made himself visible by attacking someone.
Oh shit. Oh shit, he's here. He's here.
You see him rip a couple of people into pieces.
I lift my gun up. I try and get the sights on him. I know I'm told don't worry about hitting the friendly. Just if you gotta take it down, you take down that monster. That freak show Marius always end up keeping by his side, that sick fuck. And I start just firing wild, just whatever it takes. I'm not a brave man. Never have been.
A lot of people open fire. They see Sheriff Galvan, and he takes a couple of hits, but you see that he is trying to get behind cover to obfuscate again.
I can't let him. I try and end up going through. I'm just trusting I'm not gonna get shot in the back for this. As I try and end up making my way around, I don't let him leave my line of sight, and I just keep firing, suppressing cover. So long as he can't get his hands on you, you might make it. You might make it. This is a real fucking monster he's got. I don't care if he dresses in a fancy suit and nice, tie. He's this sick.
Out of nowhere, you see another of your Anarch friends come while you're providing suppressing fire, keeping your eyes on the sheriff, making sure that he can't go out of your sight. Gregory comes out of nowhere and starts to rip Sheriff Galvan.
I keep putting bullets in him.
Others jump onto him.
Oh my god. It's fangs, claws, and pipes, and knives, and stakes, and a mess of blood. Old dead skin, organs hitting the floor. I realized that I stopped shooting bullets about 30 seconds ago. All I'm doing is pulling trigger. I stopped for a second. Grab the gun. Jump in. Pile in. Trying to end up beating this son of a bitch down for whatever it's worth. I'm calling what little blood I have left. I was so starving. So hungry.
So hungry. Rip and tear.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the one night I agree with it. We're gonna take back this city. We need to end up eating We need to end up doing it, and we might as well stop with this fugly son of a bitch.
You hear several shouts from the other room. From further down in the room, there are other members of the court. They're running. The dust, the cloud from the grenade, the haze of it all. It's making it hard to see.
If I'm convinced that they got the sheriff, I start to push in. I need to end up going. This won't be over until Prince Calhoun ends up going down. Threshe's going down tonight. I gotta make it come true. It's the only dream we got left.
You see a dog, a friendly dog, a Rottweiler, Thresh's dog, come jumping into the fray, start ripping people to shreds. You hear screams from across the room. You know that voice. It's the Seneschal's voice.
Oh, Jesus. Fuck's sakes.
She's trying to filter people through the hallways out the back entrance.
I end up shouting Thresh. I don't know if you can hear me. Toss me a grenade. Can't let him get out. No one can get out.
No one can get out. You call. Your call is answered. Grenades start going towards the other side of the building, towards that hallway, towards the back exits. You've mapped out this place. You know the secrets.
Yeah. But it was all on paper. It was a plan. Ash said I was smart, but being in here now, seeing it come to pieces, I want to say it was a good thing we're doing. But honestly, I'm just trying to hang on. I'm just trying to get through this. And when I hear the grenades popping off, taking out chunks of wall and wood and mortar and metal and flesh, gotta stop. Gotta stop the Seneschal. Bitch has it coming. Living the high life while we're down here. Taking and taking and taking, of trying to end up saying that they got a set of rules to keep us safe while we're down here. The only thing that keeps me going, Thrash, and his word that we're not fighting alone. Tyler's with us. Somewhere out in that field or somewhere in this building, Tyler is with us. She'll be with us through this whole thing. I think it was at that point I understood the power of story. I might be young, but even I know Tyler. I know the rumors on what she's managed to do. I mean, it's a name to some, but to everyone else,
A legend.
yeah, legend.
Even taking some very grievous wounds, the Seneschal is filtering a couple of people out through the back hallways. You see the briefest of glimpses. You see the prince. Prince Calhoun, the tyrant. She's running with him.
him down on my last clip. Sliding in. No. Urien, pull it together. Pull it together. He's right there. I must look like an idiot. I must look like an idiot. I'm coming out of smoke and debris. And I know I'm screaming, but I can't hear it. I can't hear the gun going off. Am I even aiming anymore? I'm charging. I'm trying to put as many holes as I can. And there's a part of me that ends up seeing, feeling my fangs coming out. And the reason I'm doing that is because I know that bullets ain't gonna do jack against Calhoun. They might do something against Howell. That pretty little bitch of a seneschal he's got. And I'm gonna rip him to pieces. Just like we did the sheriff. And I can only hope that there's more behind me.
You hear more gunshots behind you. You hear the slashing of weapons. You hear the ripping of dead flesh. You hear those razor claws of Colin Thresh ripping into every person left in that court behind you. And his eyes fall on Prince Calhoun and the Seneschal as they're running. But you also see another face ahead of Calhoun, ahead of the prince. That damn progeny of that prince.
That son of a bitch.
He's getting away.
I don't have time for that small fry. Hunt him down later. This ends tonight, and all the power pieces were able to take the queen, the king, and the bishop all in one night.
Urien, make me a wits plus awareness. There are others. Footsteps ahead of Kyle. You can make them out. One of them, you know, is obfuscated.
Do I know him? Was he in the dossiers? Do I know?
Make a politics roll. Plus intelligence. Or wits, rather. You know this man. Fernando Steele.
Fernando.
But now's not the time to worry about him. You have the prince and the seneschal in front of you. These are gonna get away.
I'm still waiting on Colin to toss me a grenade. Maybe I can get it in the hallway before they can get out. Might be able to take that bastard near Kyle and Fernando out in the same hit.
He finally sidles up next to you, his long, razor-sharp claws extended. He pulls that grenade that you've asked for from his belt, looks down the hallway.
I'm terrible I'm a terrible, terrible thrower. Arouse what I can. Blood coursing through, trying and building what little strength I can. Fucking taking them out. Right here. Right now, I unleash the grenade.
Colin throws another one with you, throwing both. They both go off in that hallway. You're not sure if you caught the prince. You're not sure if you caught the seneschal. There's a cloud of smoke.
I can't take the chances. I'm rushing in. I remember there was 5. Why do I remember 5? That's fine. Grab hold of something. I don't know what the hell it is. I know it's part of the debris, but I am rushing. I wish that I could feel adrenaline again. That would end up making this working out so well. These might take the itch off. I'm coming at these sons of bitches, fangs bad. Out of ammo. Ain't got no weapon really to speak of no more. I don't know why I rushed ahead. Why did I rush ahead?
The dust settles. The seneschal's on the ground, burned in many places. Colin's run ahead of you. Him and Gregory have started to sink their fangs into the seneschal's neck. She's screaming. Screaming in agony, begging for her life.
I didn't end up saving any of ours, huh? When they begged. Why she get to be any different than us? That's not my concern right now. I have no doubt that Colin, Gangrel, I believe, that's what they call themselves, wild ones. He can be a monster in a fight. That is the reason we look to him. And he's living up to his status. I think he wants to be the Jackson's version of Tyler. I gotta keep an eye out. Where's Calhoun? I'm looking. I'm hunting. Dear God, I'm hunting.
Hunting. It's a rush.
Yeah. It is. Trying to find that bastard.
You run through the hallway, the ruins of this building. Prince Calhoun may have gotten away in the haze, but you run. You run with all of your might, everything the blood allows for you to do. The speed at which you rush toward your prey. And you spot him. He's staggered.
I can't hesitate. If he ever comes to, if he starts to regain himself, I'll jump onto him.
You see a couple of wounds mending. Gregory, followed behind you. A couple of thin bloods. They rush forward. Gregory tackles Calhoun to the ground.
God, Gregory. Yeah, Gregory was always nice to me. Knew I didn't know jack from nothing in this city, but he always cared. And now Calhoun is underneath him. And I don't remember who jumped next. All I know is we started dogpiling on him. There was something Gregory did. Something in Calhoun's mouth. I think he's trying to stop him from speaking.
Because you know
I do remember
that if Calhoun speaks, we may be able to stop you. That's what Colin said.
Yeah.
You don't make eye contact. You don't let him speak. Just rip.
And tear. But there's something not right. I see it at the corner of my eye. Seneschal howl. With dead eyes. Starting to dust. Looking at Prince Calhoun. Prince Calhoun's eyes are trying to roll to the corner to see her. There's a monstrous rage in that man. Nothing compared to what we brought in. I'm jumping with them. Thin Bloods, Gregory, myself, trying to end up taking our fill. Trying to lead him. Just like he bled us. He bled us by squeezing us out.
Take him for all he is.
And I have no doubt I'm not the only one thinking it. And I have no doubt that I'm not the only one who's going through this. But my fangs pushing in the skin is so tough. It's like trying to end up biting into solid oak. It's tough. One of my fangs is able to score Vitae.
Sweet,
I am
delicious Vitae.
drinking. I'm drinking deep. And everybody else is. There's not enough in the juice box to go around. I feel it like a contest. Like a bobbing for apples to end up consuming the soul of this fucking prince. And I don't remember much after that. This frenzy. So much. I don't know what happened to Gavin. Did they actually finish the job? Are they dragging him out? I know, Gregory said he wanted to end up dragging the sheriff downtown, chained to the back of his pickup by the neck, and let the highway do him in. Seeing the ashes of the seneschal. That bloody muck. He used to dance around in elegant gowns.
You look up when, with your teeth sunk into Calhoun's skin, Kyle stares at you. You can see the rage behind those eyes, but he knows he has to keep his cool head. You see, as he and Fernando start to leave, but there's other footprints, there's other footsteps you hear.
I try and not let go of my grip, my fangs buried in, until there is nothing left but my eyes are dotting. When I saw Kyle, there was... I could feel it then. I had the look of the devil on me. Now I'm looking around, other footsteps. He's got another servant trying to save his sorry ass.
After several long moments, the once tyrannical prince, the one who hoarded blood and resources, everything, eventually melts away to ash. The taste of his fire tastes strong in your teeth, on your tongue. That sweet, sweet taste.
I say that when you, what's the fancy word they call it? Drinking the amaranth. That you drink a person's soul. I think all of us are thinking the same thing. We're looking at each other. I look towards the thin bloods. Gregory's got a smirk on his face. Maybe he got the last of it. I don't know. Never drank a soul before. But it's ugly. I'm standing in ashes. Bloody ashes. I'm looking in the eyes of the five. I'm committing them to memory. Myself included. Weird little thing. I don't know why I remember that. I do remember looking over the scene. Gunshots, but these are gunshots in celebration. I look to Gregory. Place a hand on his shoulder. I'm tired. I'm not using him to hold me up at this point. I can still feel the wounds that I've taken their hold. I'm trying to command what little blood I have taken from Prince Calhoun and mending myself. I look to Colin. Bloody grin on my face.
A similar one on his.
We did it. We killed the sons of bitches.
We did it.
I want us to tell him. I opened my mouth as though I'm about to speak. I need to tell him that Kyle and Fernando got out. I'm not sure if they managed to booby trap the back exit like they planned, or was this son of a bitch ahead of us again? It's happened before. I try and speak. There's something that stops me from doing so. Maybe it's just I don't want Colin to have a ruined moment. I know we'll wait. We're gonna party tonight. I don't think it'll get the blood out, though. Not after what we done.
The celebration starts shortly after. You're walking around, still mostly silent.
Yeah.
Why does it feel so painful? Why does it hurt so much?
I don't know why.
Why does it feel like everything was taken from you?
And start going. I'm suspiciously watching. Watching the Thin Bloods. The ones that were on top of Calhoun with me. I try and get them into their own private moments. Start to confess that feel like some terrible wrong was placed on him. The first one was quick. I don't even remember it happening. I remember he said something about that son of a bitch deserving it. And he's only pissed that his blood is still thin, whatever that meant. That was enough to set me off. I remember being angry, and I placed his head against the sink, and I ended up watching the top of his head pop off.
Filthy anarch.
Filthy anarch. Fucking Thin Blood. Piece of shit. God damn it. They're all fucked. They don't understand the goddamn thing we just did. Fight for their freedom, and then what? And then what? They're talking about eating people's souls. They're talking about tearing it all down to build what? Bride of tomorrow. What? Bride tomorrow? Want to see it. Remember, by the end, me and Gregory think that the ash and blood that's on my hands, what little left of it there is easy to be mistaken for what's left of Calhoun. I mean, we did dogpile him that night. I'm waiting on word about Kyle, Fernando, and Galvin. I'm asking. There are all sorts of rumors. I remember I'm making up stories. But no stories I heard from somebody else. The person I know didn't make it. One, because I know they didn't make it. I made sure that for some reason. Some reason. There's an anger in me, though, when I look at these brothers in arms. No brothers of mine. I remember right now I have thoughts. I've researched after the party. And even during it. I'm not sure who came up to me. Did somebody come up to me that night? I'm scrambling the notes that I took. I took out a few pieces. Calhoun's own personal collection. Memoirs and bullshit. But on occasion, I run across something that is worth seeing. But I'm trying to find notes on the Amaranth. Something to explain what the hell is going on. Because I feel like I know what is going on. I do not know why. But I gotta keep it going. Oh God, somebody help me.
No one is going to help you.
No one is going to help you. I think it was at that moment. Go on.
You are alone, Urien Doyle.
I don't know what it is. I feel it more and more. I feel like I'm losing it.
You will lose to me.
Old blood rituals. Using the blood of thin bloods. An old curse. A way to make a Tremere into something a little bit more reckless. I remember when I was standing in the mirror. First time I used thin blood to actually end up there making the sacred geometries upon the mirror. Outlined in a pentagram, inverted, with the names of Beelzebub upon my lips. Curse the one I see. If he's gonna do what I think he's gonna do, let's see on what he's gonna do when he's gotta eat his own goddamn coat. It was a foolish thing. A thing of impulse. But it was only at the end. Petit Tremere. You are so small-minded. If you think a curse would dissuade me.
Had to try.
You who ended up taking my Liliana, I had to try. You who've taken Galvin. Who've taken everything. Jackson was mine. All you needed to do was learn to serve the city. You mean serving you? You and your high rollers. We are the city. We are its heart. You have just torn it out, Urien Doyle. Yeah, I ripped you out with my fangs. My fangs now. You didn't know what you were looking at. You had no idea what the hell you gotten yourself into. When we look into the mirror, I get to see the face of my killer. I get to see the faces smiling at me with success. How they have toppled some great tyrant. Unaware of how I have held this city together for so long. Now, my court is gone. So Urien Doyle, I will make it so with your anarchy. Oh, don't touch him. Don't you dare to touch him. I will tear your face from your bones. I'll tear their face from their bones. Because at the end of the night, but perhaps this is a gift. A chance to start fresh. After all, Urien, who knows you better than you know yourself? I had to admit, was starting to get confused. I think I was angry at Gregory. Most of all, that smile of his. You know, he always pitied me. I always knew that he was just pandering to me. And so, I put him next on the list. And the next. And the next. Until Urien Doyle was more whisperer. In fact, those who would know exactly what I have done would be gone. All that would be left is rumor and horror.
And so you wake in your chair. There were more.
Try to remember. That one. I knew Kyle, but the other one. I tried to dive deep with what little strength I have left. When the first time I met him in court, he was one of my court.
When you had a court. Kyle.
It would seem I still do, Mr. Doyle. And the funny thing is, your beloved anarchs are building it for me. They will smile as we take San Antonio. If you thought I did a lot of damage in Jackson, you have not seen anything yet.
I believe that is where we are going to call tonight's vignettes. Thank you so much to everyone watching. Hope you enjoyed.
Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in.
Yes, thank you so much.
And applauds to Lethality for Amber's little vignette.
Yes.
Why, thank you.
Quite enjoyable, quite enjoyable. Next week, we will be picking up with Benji and M to figure out what their next moves as the end of Season 1 of San Antonio by Night comes to a close. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.